"Sir, this meal's on me again, all right?" the young man said gently, placing down a plate of perfectly cut toast and a steaming black coffee. The old man didn't say much, he just nodded, with the faintest smile that never quite reached his eyes. He came in every morning at 7:12, never earlier, never later, always in the same faded brown coat, gripping the same chipped mug he brought from home. His name was Walter, but no one really knew that, except Daniel, the 8-year-old single dad who worked the morning shift at Benny's diner. Daniel never asked questions. He could tell from the man's posture, the military straight back, the faraway eyes that Walter had been through something no words could really describe. Most customers barely looked his way. He was just another quiet old man, sitting alone at the corner booth, a few crumpled dollar bills on the table that Daniel never took. Daniel didn't do it for praise. He did it because he knew what it was like to feel invisible. His wife had died 2 years ago, leaving him to raise his 6-year-old daughter alone. No college degree, no backup plan, just 2 jobs, and a kid who still asked why Mummy wasn't coming back. And yet, somehow, that old man's silence every morning gave him strength. There was something sacred about their unspoken routine: toast, coffee, gratitude, no drama, no noise. Until one Thursday, the bell above the diner door jingled and 2 sharply dressed men in suits stepped in, scanning the place like Secret Service agents. Behind them walked another man in a tailored grey coat, clearly a lawyer, and trailing behind all 3, Walter. But he didn't look like the quiet, worn-out man Daniel had been serving for 6 months. He stood straighter, his eyes were sharper, and instead of that chipped blue mug, he held nothing at all. Daniel froze, mid-slice. He thought maybe something was wrong, maybe Walter was in trouble. The lawyers approached his counter and asked calmly, "Are you Daniel Reeves?" Daniel nodded slowly, unsure whether to be afraid or confused. The lawyer pulled out a thick envelope and handed it to him. "Mr. Reeves, you've been named in a personal bequest by Mr. Walter Kessler. He has something to say." The entire diner went quiet as Walter stepped forward, finally speaking more than 2 words for the first time since Daniel met him. "You thought I was just a lonely old man," Walter said, his voice surprisingly firm for someone his age. "But I'm not. I was the founder of Kessler Dynamics. Sold it for $94 million before disappearing. I've been coming here because I was tired of everyone treating me like an asset, not a person." Daniel stood speechless, knife still in hand. Walter continued, "I watched people pass me by. Waiters who rolled their eyes, customers who sat elsewhere. But you always saw me. You helped me without asking. You treated me like a human being." Tears stung the edges of Daniel's eyes, but he blinked them away. "I made peace with the world a long time ago," Walter said. "But I never made peace with what the world had become until I saw you. And I want to give your daughter the future I never gave my own." Inside the envelope was a deed. Walter had bought Daniel a house, fully paid for, a college fund, and a letter of recommendation addressed to the director of the Veterans Hospital, where Daniel had once applied for a job but was turned away for lack of experience. Daniel tried to speak, but no words came out. His hands trembled as he set the envelope down beside the toast he'd made, without knowing it would be the last one he'd serve Walter. The old man smiled. "Don't thank me. Just do for someone else what you did for me. That's all I ask." And then, as quickly as they came, the lawyers and bodyguards escorted Walter out. But this time, he didn't leave behind a dollar bill or a chipped mug. He left behind a legacy. In the weeks that followed, Daniel's life transformed. He got the job at the hospital, moved into the new home with his daughter, and every morning he made coffee at his own kitchen table, 1 cup for himself, and one that sat across from him, untouched, but never forgotten. Walter never came back to the diner, but Daniel never stopped watching that door, just in case. Because some people don't just leave money behind, they leave meaning. Before this story ends, drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. It means more to us than you think. If this touched your heart, don't forget to like the video, hit subscribe, and share how it made you feel.